Hello and welcome to High Caliber TV, your source for figure and model updates every Wednesday and Friday. Today on the Workbench, I'm just going to be showing off my update on the Jungle Tourist vignette that I'm putting into IPMS Nanton this weekend. Alan and I are going to be making the trip down there. We'll be sure to take lots of photographs, maybe do some videos, things like that at the show. This is the in progress of the figure, the Bravo 6 U.S. infantry private in Vietnam with a shotgun. So he's not done, as you can see, and I've only got really one more working day to finish him up, so I've got to put a hustle on. He hasn't had any weathering applied at all. That's why he looks like he just came out of a shower. His flesh still isn't done. I haven't crafted the cigarette, which shouldn't be too difficult, but I don't have any white plastic pipe, so I have to think of something else. Might have to actually be creative for a minute. The highlights on the fatigues were done exclusively with an airbrush. It was 3 coats, the basic, the shadows, and then the highlights. So that was really easy. All the rest of the detail has been hand done. As you can see, the ration cans in a pipe on his back. His poncho rolled up underneath his backpack. Yeah, lots of really fantastic detail. I really enjoy doing this figure because I cut my teeth when I started to sort of take figure modeling a bit more seriously. I did a lot of, almost exclusively, hobby fan figures, and if you've ever seen their initial lineup, it was mostly Vietnam, US infantry or Marines, so I'm really used to the way that I want them to look, and I haven't done any of them for quite a while, so I'm happy to be coming back to it. The sort of the star of the show, though, is the Buddha. Now, I'm quite pleased at how he turned out. I did an overall oil wash on the entire base, mix of burnt umber and ivory black, mostly burnt umber in the mix with a medium of mineral spirits, and then once I gave the oil wash about 15 minutes to set, I took a brush with a bit of mineral spirits on the tip and cleared away or applied the streaking, as you can see on his chest, by just pulling down from the oil wash deposits and creating sort of a rained-on effect. The rest of the base is just Mickey Mouse. I did a lot of basic dry brushing. I over and under highlighted in certain areas, tried to make it look about as random as possible while retaining the same base colors so that no one part looked like it didn't belong. I think he turned out alright. Grass, as always, it's just Army Painter Tufts. They do these little clam packs that you can get for about $4 or $5. I highly recommend you check them out because they come in different colors. Some of them actually have what look like flowers on them, which is sort of a neat detail, and they're really cheap, so you can get them and apply them really easily with a bit of white glue. So there he is. As I mentioned, I haven't added any weathering yet. One of the main ones that I'll be using is going to be Warpig's Faded Panzer Gray, and it's going to be just an overall wash in shadows where his pit stains, sweat stains are going to be on his fatigues, because it's dark gray, so it'll obscure without removing detail. The 2 MIG pigments that I'm going to be using with MIG thinner are these 2. It's Old Rust and Dark Mud. A lot of pictures of the mud in Vietnam show it as being sort of a rusty, orangey brown color, and while I don't want it to look like rust, I'm using this to cut it down so that it fades in a little bit better to the base. And I use CMK Stardust for just taking the straight pigment and applying it with a brush like dust straight where I want it to go, and then sealing that in with clear flat. So this is going to go on the boots, some areas around the base of the Buddha, just stuff like that. Places like on the knees where I'm not necessarily pleased with the thinner the wash that I used with MIG, sometimes it'll leave some areas not necessarily as covered as I want, so I'll use this to unify them a little bit, maybe just to make them a little bit more filthy, because I think that a lot of times the soldiers in Vietnam, especially this guy's supposed to be in 68, so he's patrolling during the Tet Offensive, so, you know, they would have been fighting for long periods of time without any rest. So he could have potentially gotten exceedingly scungy, which is always good for adding character. So, thanks for watching. For all these figures and many more, check us out at highcaliberminiatures.com. I'll put the link in the description below. For daily updates on stock and what Alan and I are working on, check us out at Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Hope to see some of you at Nanton, and if not, I will see you next time. Bye.